Welcome to Toffee TV. This is the instant match reaction for Everton 0, Norwich 2. We're out the League Cup. What's new? A very, very disappointing night at Goodison Park. Obviously the first that we've had to endure for a long time. Obviously certainly this season. But it's been a while since we've been at home. It certainly feels like a while anyway. And to be honest, it was just a really, really bad night, wasn't it? It was really, really disappointing. You know, the team, for me, from the start, I just don't see the point in this. Every year, it doesn't matter who it is, and, you know, it's good times at the moment with Ronald Koeman, but every year, manager comes out and says to us, we're going to take this trophy seriously. This is one of 3 trophies that we can win this season. We're going to go for it. And then what did he do? They make 6 changes, you know, which is fine when you're playing the likes of Yeovil or, you know, someone of lower league. But when you're playing a team like Norwich, who are on the up, playing well, who have just been relegated, I don't understand it. Yes, Norwich have made plenty of changes themselves, but I don't understand it from our point of view. Let's forget about the fact, you know, that Norwich have made changes. You can't predict what they're gonna pick. You've just got to say, let's go for it. Now tonight, obviously, there was Romelu Lukaku. There's nothing we could do about that, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But you know, some of them changes I just don't understand. You know, playing Funes Mori at left back, why? I just don't rate the lad as a defender, and tonight he just proved again. You know, leaving Balassi out, leaving Baines out, leaving Jags. Honestly, I just don't understand. It's September. We've played five Premier League games and 1 League Cup game before tonight. We've got 2 more games after tonight before the international break. Why do players need resting? Okay, Gareth Barry, maybe he's an exception. Okay, possibly Jags is obviously getting on as well. But I just don't see the point. Stick your best possible 11 out. Hope that you're winning after an hour and then make 3 changes. What it does when you make all those changes is you're bringing players in who are off the pace. And that straight away puts the team off the pace. And then you find that other players have got to do a little bit more work. Or other players end up playing poorly because the player they're playing, who normally is playing next to them, is not playing. And that's part of the reason. I mean, you know, it's the first blemish on Koeman's, you know, career at Everton so far. But I just don't understand it. And I know people say, well, that team was good enough to beat Norwich. So what? Why make it harder for yourself than it has to be? You know, fans turn up, they pay them money. Why not say, we're going to go for this? We're going to stick the best team out possible and we're going to go and win it. To me, that's the attitude that why we don't succeed in winning trophies, is that attitude. It's also momentum. You win tonight, you win well, and you move on to Saturday. Now we go into Saturday and there's that little bit of lingering doubt. You know, if you go a goal behind, whether it be deserved or not. Because to be honest, the first 20 minutes tonight, I thought we started well. We just lacked a goal. We just lacked a finish. Delafeu had a decent chance, which he should have scored. Lennon had a decent chance, which got blocked. And after about 20 minutes, I think Norwich suddenly realised that we weren't putting them under too much pressure, and they could start coming out, and you could see them. They started to have a little go, and make a game of it, and that's where sort of the game changed. We just didn't put it. Very reminiscent of last season when we bore teams to death with all the passing, and then they'd realise we weren't going anywhere, and they'd suddenly go, we can do what we want in this game. So really disappointing that, you know, we didn't have more chances, but obviously they got the goal just before half time. Goal out of nothing really, ball up, a little flick on by their centre forward, and Naismith got through. Naismith, to be fair, did his best to miss it. I think he kicked the ball from one foot onto the other foot and just looped over Stecklenberg. I think everyone was shocked when it went in because everyone thought he'd completely made a mess of it. A lot of people in the ground clapped. I didn't. I'm never clapping anyone who scores against us. I'm not arsed. So 1-0, we go into half time, and you know, we come out after the half, very surprised there wasn't changes because I felt like we needed them. We had the go for about 10-15 minutes, really put them under pressure. Again, we had a lot of the ball, not really making any clear-cut chances. Morales came on, Balassi came on. I think Valencia had one took off the line, but we just never made enough chances. And then, their kid, Murphy, with about 20 minutes to go, smashes one top in and the game's finished. And to be fair, they outworked us tonight. And again, it's about making all these changes. They made loads of changes, but the lads they brought in were willing to just graft. Just willing to graft their asses off. And we weren't. And that was it, really. We spoke about Lukaku not playing. We could have... Who knows? We could have played 10 of our best players and not had Lukaku, and the result could have been the same. Valencia, he's not a centre forward. He is not a centre forward. He won the ball a couple of times in the air, but physically there's nothing there at all. Strangely, he could play in a role similar, to we've seen. With Southampton last season, where you want to play running the channels, but we never used them like that. We used them in like a Lukaku role, and it just never worked one tiny bit. The best thing we seen as him was actually when he was on the wing, where he did a little bit of skill and won as a free kick. And that shows what kind of player he is. He's someone outside the box, someone who wants to get hold of the ball and run at people and use pace and trickery. He's not a centre forward. I don't think there's any place for him to start tonight, but he did. So, who knows, it leads to the bigger question, what the hell were we doing all summer? We knew we needed a centre forward, and we didn't go and get one till the final day, and we basically got what was left in the shop. It's awful. I said this, I know a lot of people thought we had a good transfer window, and we did on the whole have a good transfer window, but that's what disappointed me on the final day, was that we never brought a decent striker in, and it showed tonight. We really needed to bring in another top-class centre-forward, and we never done it, and it showed tonight. If Lukaku's out for any time at all, we're going to struggle. We are really going to struggle. And honestly, I would go and scour the world looking for players who are out of contract and see if they could do a job, because we don't have another centre-forward. I'm sorry. Valencia's not a forward, and Coney just can't do it for more than 10 minutes. People will argue he can't do it for 10 minutes. But really, I would go and look for one, because we're desperate. We're desperate for one. You cannot rely on Lukaku all season, for goals and for fitness. We're desperate for one, and we're only in September. So I think straight away that's something that needs to be looked at. As I say, I was just really disappointed with a lot of the players tonight. Funes Mori, I know he was playing left back, but I thought he was awful. I just thought it felt like he was going through the motions. Deulofeu was terrible, absolutely terrible. He had a couple of really good chances and just pissed them up the wall, basically. His whole body language, anytime anyone gets physical with him, he's throwing himself up in the air. Just won't stand. It won't stand with this manager. You've seen the kind of winger he wants. He wants a Balassi. He wants someone who's strong and powerful and who will not be taken down easily. And Deulofeu, it's a big chance for him tonight, and he just pissed it up the wall. Cleverly, I thought he was way off the pace, but I wouldn't put that down to him, because he's been out injured, so that's not necessarily the same as some of the other players. Holgate did all right at centre back. He did all right. Wasn't ideal, but he did all right. Lennon again just looked off the pace, and as I say, when you got 3 or 4 of these players off the pace, suddenly the whole team's off the pace, and that's the problem. And that's why I hate making all these changes in the cup. Some teams can do it because they've got really top class quality coming in to replace the players. We haven't. And when the manager says in a press conference we can't win the league, that's why we can't win the league. Being realistic. And some people go, "Oh, what are you being negative for?" Because he knows what he's got. If anything tonight, I hope he's found out some. Because I don't agree with what he's done tonight, but from his point of view, he'll look at it and say, "I give you a chance tonight, and you didn't take it." So from his point of view, that's what he'll look at. And they haven't. But I just don't think you should take that chance in the first place. I just think it's a cup competition. You just get through it. I want to win a trophy, and if Norwich turn up to play, we play our as best our 11 as possible. Maybe you make 2 changes, maybe you make 3 changes, but that's it for me. Really, I just don't see the point in it. The biggest disappointment is Ross Barkley tonight. He was absolutely terrible. We've been massive advocates for Ross Barkley in this show. To the criticism, we took a lot of criticism off some people, but we've been massive advocates of him. And tonight he was awful. He was abysmal. And what worries me more about anything about Ross Barkley is I think he's got all this talent, but has he got a brain? And not only has he got a brain, but is he so reliant on his own confidence that he can't dominate games? Because he's not at age now, and he's at a status now where he should be dominating the midfield of that game. Should be absolutely dominating it. And whether you think he's that kind of player or not, he should be dominating it, whether it be one way or another, whether it's on the ball, moving the ball around, making chances for people, or physically dominating it. And he hasn't done either tonight. And I worry, and I know a lot of people say he hasn't got a brain. There is part of that. But I worry that he's so confidence reliant that any knock to it destroys him. Now, I'm sorry, as a centre midfielder, you've got to forget about... I don't think you can be a confidence player in centre midfield. I think if things are not going right for you, you just get your head down and you just work at it. I just thought he was abysmal. And that's, 2 out the last 3 games where he's been abysmal. And it's not good enough. And again, the manager manager made it clear, will he make it clear Saturday? Because I just thought tonight was a big chance for him to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. We were all raving about him in the last round. He was the captain's armband, he scored the goal. But tonight, he needed to elevate himself and he couldn't do it. And that for me is really, really worrying, because I just don't think this manager will put up with that. I don't think he'll put up with it for any of them. I just, you expect players to come in tonight and go, do you know what, I haven't been in the team tonight. Recently, I'm going to get in and I'm going to stamp my authority and I'm going to give this manager a decision to make come Saturday. None of them did that. Not one of them did that. Aaron Lennon had a go, but every time he tried to do something, they sussed him. Now, the game could have been very different if we'd got a goal in the first 10-15 minutes. Could have been very different because Norwich weren't even at the races. But as soon as they realised that we weren't at the races, they just went, go on, we'll have a go. They've had one clear off the line. Okay, Woody's had a couple of show saves to make. But apart from that, nothing. Delafeu's, he's put a couple wide and over, but that was poor. That was just very, very poor. And we're out the cup. And people will be laughing at us, and rightly so. And all these people who've gone, who've you played so far, they'll be giving it the big tomorrow. Doesn't really matter, but I think it's about momentum. And I think, you're going to Bournemouth after a good win. None of those players are asked about playing 90 minutes tonight, you know what I mean? They're not going to be... if we'd won tonight, and we'd made it, what? That would mean 6 in a row if we won tonight. The confidence would be absolutely flying. No one would be asked for tiredness come Saturday. No one's tired when you're winning and you're confident. I guarantee you. You're not tired. Go back to the old days when you'd have 13, 14-man squads. Listen to what the players said. They were never tired. Every game, they just wanted to win. And, tonight has just been really, really poor. And as I say, I'm disappointed with the manager for making those changes. But once he makes those changes, he expects the team to go out there. And they didn't do it. And fair play to Norwich. They made 10 changes tonight. And they've won the game. I'm not saying they deserve to win the game. I think they worked harder than us. And they took the 2 chances they got. But that's what they did. They took the chances and they've come to Goodison with about 150 fans and beat us 2-0 without there was never ever that big period of time where they were under threat. It might have been 5 or 10 minutes in the second half. But no, that's poor. That's poor. We have to bounce back from that. Bounce back Saturday, will come and we'll have to be on it Saturday. I'm not getting too downhearted about it. I'm just gutted that we're out of the cup again. But it just annoys you. It just annoys you because I personally think you should throw everything at these games and worry about the players later. But I'm not a football manager. Never will be a football manager. So that's just my opinion as a fan. But I look at other teams and they throw everything at it and they get the results. We don't, and we don't get the results. And it's been the same for the last 3, 4, 5 years, hasn't it? It was the same under Moyes, to be fair. It was the same under Martinez. You know, okay, last year we got to the semi-final of 2 competitions, but we were very, very lucky in a few of these games. Against Norwich last season, we were very, very lucky. So I just think you should play your strongest team as much as you can. So whether that would have made a difference, as I said before, without having Lukaku, that's a different argument. And maybe, you know, that needs to be seriously looked at. Because we can't have one centre forward for the whole season, because effectively that's what we've got as far as I'm concerned. So sorry, I've gone on for too long, but I am seriously disappointed. Listen, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's doom and gloom. We've had a great start to the season. This is just one of those things. Let's hope we can overcome it on Saturday against Bournemouth and get back to winning ways. Make sure to check out Baz's instant reaction and his ratings, which should be interesting when they're out, and our final word when we get that out as well. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. See you later.